The Atlanta Braves take down the Boston Red Sox 5-0, and it feels good. Let's talk about it.
This is the Braves Postcast, your instant game reaction for the Atlanta Braves. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Yes, welcome on into the Braves Postcast, part of Locked On Sports Atlanta, where we cover your Atlanta sports teams each and every day. I'm your host, Lindsay Crosby, author of the Braves Today newsletter over at bravestoday.com for a special solo edition of the Postcast after Atlanta's 5-0 victory over the Boston Red Sox. Jake Mastriani's at I think he's at a baseball tournament with his kids, so not here today, may not be back tomorrow, we'll see. But we have a lot to talk about, right? Atlanta Braves win this one 5-0 over Boston. And it's really funny because the structure of this show, right? The way that Locked On wants us to do this with the graphics that we don't use and everything is talking about the player of the game. It's pretty obvious. The turning point of this game, and then what you'll be talking about tomorrow. And this game was never really in doubt. Atlanta scores in the bottom of the first. They put up a 4 spot in the 4th inning. Atlanta hits multiple home runs off of Walker Buehler. Ronald Acuna Jr. continues to just terrify Walker Buehler in his career. And we're going to get to these guys. But first, we have to talk about Spencer Schwellenbach, okay? Today is his 25th birthday. So we all know he's watching from the clubhouse. Happy birthday, Spencer Schwellenbach. We're all happy for you today on your birthday. But he was absurdly dominant in a way that we rarely see in Major League Baseball. Now, let me tell you what I meant. So, couple things he did today. First, 6 1/3 innings, 5 hits, no runs, no walks, 11 strikeouts. Okay? So, the outing in and of itself is fantastic. And one of the big observations here is you'll remember he had a couple starts where the strikeouts were down. He was doing the Max Fried thing of just going for soft contact, getting out of innings quickly, being able to go deeper into games. And this is the flip side of this, right? Where he's getting tons of strikeouts and he can't quite go as deep, right? He throws 99 pitches, really nice ratio of balls to strikes. He has 69 strikes. So he's not able to go as deep, right? We've seen him go 7-8 before. But when he's sitting there and getting the swings and misses, inherently those at-bats usually take more pitches than when you are getting weak contact on the second pitch of the game. But he has another start here with no walks and 10 or more strikeouts. It's a great stat, and I've got it here. Shout out to Kevin Neely on X. Spencer Schwellenbach's the 16th pitcher in Major League Baseball history to record 11 or more strikeouts with no walks in consecutive starts. 16 times in baseball this has ever happened, and it happened today. If I'm checking everything right, the last time it happened in the majors was Zach Gallen in 2023. And so, fun fact though, Chris Sale has also done this. Back in 2019 with Boston, he did this. Only 2 pitchers in MLB history have done it 3 times, right? Clayton Kershaw and Chris Archer both did it 3 consecutive times in 2015. We'll see what happens next week when Schwellenbach goes again. Shout out to Jacob French in the YouTube chat here. This is the Spencer Strider approach. Yes, where I've got really good swing and miss stuff, and I'm going to throw it in the zone. And if you can hit it, more power to you. But if you can't, you're going to strike out. And that's what he did. And one of the things that helped with not letting guys hit it and getting the strikeouts is he averaged a career high 98.1 miles an hour on his fastball. This is a full 1.3 mile an hour harder than his season average. And he had multiple pitches today that broke the 100 mile an hour mark. And I will admit on the right after we just had to deal with AJ Smith-Shawver, who set a new single game high in average fastball velocity in 3 consecutive starts. And then in that third start, tore his UCL. I'm cringing a little bit at seeing this velocity, but I do think, and somebody here in the chat had this as well, maybe it was Protect PR. Schwellenbach does have a really good frame, and it does not look like he's having to, it's not a high effort delivery to get to this 100 miles an hour. So this is I feel like one of the better outings we've seen from Schwellenbach in a while, from a perspective of just absolute dominance, right? 6 hard hit balls. Again, he only gives up 5 total hits, no walks, 11 strikeouts, doesn't even break 100 innings or 100 pitches. And I'm starting to wonder, Atlanta, no matter what, Atlanta's going to have at least one player in the All-Star game. But it's entirely possible that they could get both Spencer Schwellenbach and Chris Sale. It feels like both of those guys could make the All-Star game in the National League. But just pure dominance. Again, on his 25th birthday, I can't think of very many outings I've seen from Schwellenbach this year where he has been as clean and as good as this. He never really once looked like he was in trouble, right? Boston ended up in this game only having 2 at-bats with a runner in scoring position. I mean, just absolute dominance from Atlanta. Obviously, after that, Deisabel Hernandez comes out, finishes up that inning. I think there was a runner on first when he comes out. And then Dylan Lee, Rafael Montero both continue to just be dominant. They got clean innings. Boston was overall held to 5 hits in the entire game and no walks. Quick note in here, Aaron Abson said Schwellenbach's 26th birthday will be insane if he's like this. It absolutely will. You're going to have to just make a note to go ahead and get tickets for that because it's going to be a show judging by this. I would need to go back and look to see what he did on his 24th birthday or the start closest to it. But either way, he was dominant today. The offense, not completely dominant, but really, really good. We'll get to that next right here on the Braves Postcast. The MLB season's in full swing, and every night delivers highlight-worthy performances, major momentum shifts, and can't-miss moments. Whether it's a game-winning hit or a breakout player, there's never been a better time to get in on the action because FanDuel makes it easy to stay in the game both before first pitch and live. With player props, performance trends, same-game parlays, fans have more ways than ever to play smart and win big. There's a couple Atlanta Braves who are on the board for different awards. You look at National League Rookie of the Year, Drake Baldwin is the favorite at plus 220. The only other guys really in striking distance, Agustin Ramirez of the Miami Marlins at plus 350 and Matt Shaw of the Chicago Cubs at plus 700. There is not currently anybody on the board for Comeback Player of the Year, but you've got to feel like Ronald Acuna Jr. has a really good shot at it. And then when you look at Cy Young, in the top 5 of Cy Young voting, Chris Sale. Paul Skeens is the favorite, Yoshinobu Yamamoto of the Dodgers, Zach Wheeler, Hunter Green, and then Sale tied with Logan Webb. Also, the way the season has gone for the Braves, they've had to face those other guys that we already named this season. So if you're new to FanDuel, it's the perfect time to sign up. Head to FanDuel.com, place your first $5 bet. If it wins, you'll get $200 in bonus bets. Make every moment more with FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of Major League Baseball. Welcome back to the Braves Postcast. Lindsay Crosby, a special solo edition here. Shout out to everybody in the YouTube chat. Appreciate the questions and the comments. We're going to get to some of those questions a little bit later in here. I do want to talk about the offense, though, because, quick update. Aaron Abson in the chat said the closest outing for Spencer Schwellenbach to his birthday last year, 5 innings pitched, 5 strikeouts, 3 runs. So he definitely beat that today. And at this pace, 28th birthday is the no-hitter, maybe. 30th birthday might be the perfect game. We'll see what happens. Braves finished this game with 11 hits. Matt Olson, Alex Verdugo, both double. Austin Riley homers in the 4th inning, part of that 4-run fourth. so does Ronald Acuna Jr. Ronald Acuna Jr. completely owns Walker Buehler. I don't know. Father's Day's coming up soon. I don't know if Ronald has a gift coming, if it's just a card. He'll get a phone call that afternoon. But Ronald Acuna Jr. continues to just absolutely destroy Walker Buehler and really just baseball in general. It's a small sample size here, but today was his 8th game back after returning from the knee injury. Ronald already has 3 home runs. And so, again, incredibly small sample size, but this is a 60 home run pace for Ronald Acuna Jr. And I was trying to figure out, the Braves obviously were on pace to have terrible home run production for the entire year. And I was kind of chalking Ronald in for 20 plus home runs, maybe 20, maybe 25. Again, 60 homer pace. Not going to keep this up, but he's absolutely going to do it. Mass Boost in the chat. He already has 0.6 of a WAR per Fangraphs WAR for Ronald. I don't know for a fact. It feels like that might be one of, if not the highest mark in the outfield already. But very good day for the offense. Austin Riley and Retrospectro here in the chat also mentioned Austin Riley's home run came after a long foul ball that was just barely not a home run already. So it's nice to kind of come back and be able to get that home run. But for me, the offensive MVP in this one, Michael Harris. He goes 3 for 4 from the 8-hole. He has an RBI. He has a run scored. And yes, there's still some of that chase in the game. Michael Harris is never going to get rid of that sometimes terrible chase. I remember watching it, I think it was last night. He had one of those awful looking strikeouts. But also when he's dialed in and he gets opportunities to hit pitches in the zone, you see games like today. We're just 3 for 4. And this is why I want him to bat 9th right in front of Ronald. Luke Williams didn't get on base today. 0 for 4, 2 strikeouts. We really need Nick Allen his hand to get better so he can come back and play. But Michael Harris, it felt like Ronald was getting a little bit of better pitches to hit, knowing that Michael Harris was on the base paths. He stole second base once, and obviously he can score from first on an extra base hit. He can score from second on a single. It's a dynamic. We've talked about this. Chick and I talked about this quite a bit before, about how having those speedy runners down there can power the top of the offense, or the top of the lineup. And it really feels like you saw some of that today with Michael Harris going 3 for 4. He's actually, it's funny, his OPS is one of the worst in the team among qualified hitters, but Michael Harris is second on the entire team in RBI. Just a great kind of, that's baseball for you. And put him back in the 9-hole. If nothing else, he said before he likes hitting 9th, right? He's a fan of hitting 9th. I remember when they first moved him out of it. I remember writing the story back when I worked for Sports Illustrated, writing about how he said, the 9-hole will always be my love. I'm trying to remember that exact quote. So the offense looked really good today. I kind of think about what it would look like if instead of Luke Williams, you had Nick Allen who could lay down a bunt or do whatever. But again, you have getting Michael Harris in the 9-hole would be awesome. And then another great stat here in the chat. He's first on the team in RBI save. Michael Harris continues to just make fantastic defensive plays. We saw it again today, catch at the wall, making sliding catches. And the only reason why his value on the season, for the entire season, has still been positive is because he's been so good defensively. Special shout out to Austin Riley. Mark Bowman pointed out that he had, going into the second game on Thursday, the doubleheader in Philly, Austin Riley had 3 extra base hits in his previous 85 at-bats. He now has 3 extra base hits in his last 8 at-bats. So he's been on a slump. We know he's a guy just like Ozzie Albies, just like Matt Olson. He can get hot. He can be cold. And if he's getting hot while Ronald Acuna Jr. is hot, while Matt Olson is hot, and Michael Harris is maybe starting to get hot, that offense becomes a lot closer to what we thought it could be this year. So hopefully the Braves continue this. The series finale is tomorrow. They really need to win this. The Braves are on a streak of not winning series. The last series win Atlanta had was in Boston when they went up to Boston 2 weeks ago. They haven't won a series since then. Tomorrow's game, it came up in the chat a few minutes ago. It is not Spencer Strider. Atlanta's pushing everybody back. So Strider is going to start, I believe, on Tuesday against the Diamondbacks. That'll get confirmed when we get the game notes tomorrow. But tomorrow's matchup, Garrett Crochet versus Bryce Elder. Nobody said it was going to be easy, but Atlanta has an opportunity to win the series, which would give them 2 consecutive series wins against Boston, who apparently is their rival. I did not know that until rivalry weekend. You gain a little bit of ground in the division. The Mets, I believe the Mets did win today. We really need somebody to just tell us every single day on social media if the Mets won or lost. The Mets won 8-2 over the Rockies, but the Phillies, 17-7, they're down in the bottom of the 9th to the Brewers. The Brewers have 23 hits, and this is the thing about this Atlanta Braves team. I want to say, I want to make this point clear. So many of Atlanta's losses have been close losses. They have not been these blowouts. Jesus Luzardo gave up 12 runs on 12 hits in 3 1/3 innings today. He gave up, what is this? Let me see here. He gave up 2 different home runs to Rhys Hoskins, which you knew that was going to happen. That's a revenge game for Rhys Hoskins. He also gave up multiple doubles and just overall atrocious. They had to go to a reliever a little bit later. He gave up Jose Ruiz gave up another 5 runs. The one saving grace for the Braves, and this game is final, 17-7 victory by the Brewers over the Phillies, is Atlanta's not getting blown out like this. So if the Braves offense can keep doing what they did today, tomorrow, Garrett Crochet versus Bryce Elder. And again, Aaron makes a great point in the chat. We beat Crochet once. We can do it again. We will be back with another postcast tomorrow to recap what is going to be a series victory. We are manifesting this. But in the meantime, again, Atlanta 5-0 victors over the Boston Red Sox. Do us a favor. If you're listening to this on audio, leave a 5-star review with some kind words, Apple, Spotify, YouTube Music. If you're watching on YouTube, subscribe to both Locked On Braves and Locked On Sports Atlanta. Hit the notification bell so you know when we go live to talk about these victories by the Braves. Again, we're manifesting a series win tomorrow, Garrett Crochet versus Bryce Elder. I'm Lindsay Crosby. This has been the Braves Postcast.